face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Good evening, I'm Tansai Gabriel, and this is POA Evening News. Stay with us for insightful coverage on stories shaping Africa and beyond. Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been sworn in for a second term. The inauguration ceremony is held at a military parade grounds in the capital, Dodoma. Samia was declared the winner on Saturday with 98% of the vote. Following the re-election of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, tensions have escalated across Tanzania. Numerous leaders and international organizations have voiced their reactions to both the election outcome and the subsequent unrest. How the African Union is following the developments? Well, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mohamed Ali Youssef, acknowledged the official results of the presidential election and extended his congratulations to President Samia Suluhu Hassan on her victory. He expressed deep regret over the loss of life during post-election protests and offered heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims. The chairperson emphasized the importance of protecting fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right to peaceful assembly and freedom of expression. He urged Tanzanian authorities to uphold these rights within the bounds of the law and encourage citizens to exercise their freedoms responsibly and peacefully. He reaffirmed the values enshrined in the African Charter on democracy, elections and governance, particularly the rule of law, human rights, civil liberties and political pluralism as essential pillars of a democratic and stable society. The African Union reiterated its commitment to supporting both the people and the government of Tanzania in the efforts to maintain peace, national unity and democratic progress. To reinforce its dedication to democratic governance, the AU deployed observers throughout Tanzania to monitor campaign activities, election preparations, and voting procedures on election day. Poland reaffirms commitment to strengthen ties with Ethiopia and Africa. Poland has demonstrated a strong commitment to deepening its partnership with Ethiopia and the broader African continent. This renewed engagement reflects its strategic vision for enhanced cooperation, mutual development, and shared prosperity. In a recent interview with POA, Szymon Holownia, Speaker of the Polish Parliament, emphasized the importance of expanding Poland's relations with African nations. He highlighted the current global landscape presents a timely opportunity to elevate diplomatic and economic ties, particularly with Ethiopia, a country playing a pivotal role in regional stability and development.
Our cooperation, mutual cooperation with Ethiopia and other African countries, I would tell you that there is still huge room for improvement. My visit here today as the second rank politician in Poland is a sign that we want to take our mutual relationship with Ethiopia, but not only with Ethiopia, with Africa and African countries to the next level. It's high time.
Speaker Holownia noted that Poland is actively exploring new avenues for collaboration across sectors such as trade, infrastructure, education, and humanitarian support. He underscored the need for a forward-looking approach that fosters innovation and inclusive growth, benefiting both Poland and its African partners. A key point in his remarks was Poland's appreciation for Ethiopia's humanitarian leadership, especially in hosting and supporting refugees who have fled conflict and hardships in neighboring regions.
Ethiopia is, without any doubt, one of the countries which contributed to this big, I would say, deed of helping others in need a lot. And Ethiopian people should be cherished and should hear thank you for what they did for these people who had to flee from their countries and found shelter.
He praised Ethiopia's generosity and resilience, recognizing its contribution to peace and human dignity. Speaker Holownia reaffirmed Poland's long-term commitment to build equitable and mutually beneficial partnerships with Ethiopia and other African nations. He stressed that this collaboration will be grounded in respect, shared values, and a collective ambition to shape more interconnected and prosperous future.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural rich to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.
Ghana's Vice President reaffirms commitment to girls' education and empowerment. Ghana's Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoko Ageyemanga, has reaffirmed government's commitment to advancing policies that promote the welfare and empowerment of women and girls, particularly in education, health, and economy. Delivering a message on her behalf at the Women in Gospel Music Gratitude 2025 celebration, her press secretary and spokesperson, Mame Amma Pratt, praised the group's initiative to support young girls in school with sanitary towels, describing it as a timely and life-changing act of compassion. She indicated that menstrual hygiene remains a major barrier to girls' education in rural Ghana, where many miss school due to lack of sanitary pads and inadequate sanitation facilities. Approximately 1 in 4 girls in rural northern communities miss school during their menstrual periods, leading to significant learning losses and decreased confidence, she stated. She said the Women in Gospel Music initiative directly complements national efforts under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama, who continues to champion programs that enhance the dignity, education, and well-being of women and girls. This initiative aligns perfectly with the government's ongoing policies aimed at empowering girls and ensuring that no child is left behind because of gender-related challenges, she emphasized. On behalf of the Vice President, the Press Secretary and spokesperson expressed gratitude to the leadership of Women in Gospel Music for using their platform to advance social impact beyond music. She encouraged them to continue serving as agents of change and hope with their communities. Gratitude must inspire us to extend kindness and contribute to national progress, she added. President of Women in Gospel Music, Abena Ruthi, said the group, which has been in existence for 12 years, aims to mentor and empower young women in music while helping them establish side businesses to generate additional income. Zimbabwe appreciates Russia's continued support in political and economic empowerment. Zimbabwe has expressed gratitude to Russia for its continued support in the country's efforts towards political and economic emancipation. This was said by African Youth Congress chairperson and Zimbabwean youth empowerment advocate, Mr. Traora Kandishaya, during the BRICS International Municipal Forum held in Russia, which concluded on Friday. Mr. Kandishaya said Zimbabwe's journey in fighting modern imperialism reflects a shared global South experience. The Zimbabwean-Russia partnership has yielded investment in mining, energy, health and agriculture sectors, as well as ushering in defense and security operations. Mr. Kandishaya noted that countries like Russia offer tangible partnerships that come without political conditions. President Ruto outlines vision for Kenya's transformation. President William Samuel Ruto and leaders from Western Kenya region engaged residents in a candid discussion on the country's development path, reflecting on the administration's achievements over the past 2 years and the way forward. President Ruto outlined an ambition roadmap aimed at positioning Kenya among first world nations within the next 2 decades. He highlighted key public sector reforms, including major changes in the health sector to ensure all Kenyans can access treatment without out-of-pocket payments. We are building a nation where every Kenyan can access quality health care without financial strain. That is the essence of inclusive development, President Ruto said. The head of state also underscored the economic transformation and policy innovation as central pillars of its government's agenda aimed at attracting investment, creating jobs, and improving livelihoods across the country. Leaders from Western region expressed strong support for the president's vision, particularly the establishment of the Sovereign Wealth Fund and National Infrastructure Fund, which they said would secure Kenya's financial future and accelerate economic growth. This initiative marks a significant policy shift from the debt-financed infrastructure model of the past decade toward an asset-backed and investment-driven strategy. The leaders lauded the close working relationship between the president and the people of Western Kenya, describing it as an opportunity for the region to play a greater role in national progress. With a clear direction now set, we will rally our people, strengthen unity, and move toward 2027 with renewed purpose and confidence, one of the leaders remarked. The event underscored a shared commitment to unity, progress, and the realization of Kenya's long-term development vision, a vision the president says will lift millions into prosperity and position Kenya as a competitive global economy. Now to business news. The EU-Ethiopia Investment Forum opens in Paris. The EU-Ethiopia Investment Forum officially opened in Paris, bringing together senior government officials, European investors, and business leaders to deepen economic cooperation and unlock new investment opportunities between Ethiopia and the European Union. Hosted by the movement Des Entreprises de France International in collaboration with the European Commission and other partners, the high-level event convened over 100 representatives from European companies, development finance institutions, and Ethiopian public and private sectors. Ethiopia's Minister of Finance, Ahmed Shide, delivered a keynote address outlining the country's ongoing macroeconomic reforms. These reforms aim to attract private investment, improve fiscal sustainability, and strengthen Ethiopia's integration into the global economy. Ahmed Shide emphasized Ethiopia's commitment to creating a more competitive and transparent business environment. Speakers at the forum commended Ethiopia's progress toward World Trade Organization accession, highlighting it as a key milestone in aligning with global standards. They also praised the country's efforts to enhance public-private dialogue, which is seen as essential for improving the investment climate and drawing high-quality foreign direct investment. The forum spotlighted several priority sectors for investment, including sustainable agribusiness, renewable energy, digital transformation, and infrastructure development. These sectors were identified as critical to Ethiopia's long-term growth and offer sustainable opportunities for European investors seeking to engage in emerging markets. Discussions also emphasized the role of EU's Global Gateway strategy as a framework for mobilizing European investment in support of Ethiopia's economic transformation. The strategy aims to foster sustainable development, connectivity, and inclusive growth across Africa. The forum serves as a strategic platform to reinforce partnerships between Ethiopian institutions and European enterprises, promoting innovation, value addition, and shared prosperity. With a population exceeding 130 million and average GDP growth above 6%, Ethiopia remains one of Africa's most dynamic investment destinations. The Paris Forum also lays the groundwork for the upcoming Africa-EU conference in Kenya in April 2026, reaffirming both regions' commitment to sustainable and inclusive development. Finally, Morocco grants 5-year corporate tax exemption for sports companies in 2026 finance bill. Morocco's 2026 beyond the traditional association model and toward a sustainable sports company model. Speaking during the... Let's take a look at the current weather forecast and what conditions to expect across the region. That's all from POA News for the hour. Thank you for joining us and stay tuned for more updates from Africa.
In an increasingly connected world, Poland and African countries are building a dynamic relationship with opportunities in trade, investment, technology, and culture. Poland aims to boost its global influence through the European Union and international efforts, while Ethiopia's refugee hosting offers further collaboration prospects. In today's special edition, we explore their current partnership, future opportunities, and its broader engagement with Africa and global organizations. Hello and welcome. I'm Gamichisa Mendida, your host, and today I'm joined by Szymon Holownia, Speaker of the Polish Parliament and the Polish candidate for UN High Commissioner for Refugees. Stay with us. Mr. Holownia, thank you very much for joining us, and I would like to begin with asking you of the bilateral relations between Poland and Ethiopia specifically. Not only that, but also the bilateral relations Poland has with the rest of the African nations.
Thank you so much for having me and for this opportunity to talk to your viewers. Heartfelt greetings from Poland to all of you. And you mentioned our cooperation, mutual cooperation with Ethiopia and other African countries. I would tell you that there is still huge room for improvement. My visit here today as the second rank politician in Poland is a sign that we want to take our mutual relationship with Ethiopia, but not only with Ethiopia, with Africa and African countries to the next level. It's high time. Because in our relationship with Ethiopia, we had recently this over 6 years of practically not doing nothing. Right now, my visit is the first sign that we want to cooperate on the broader sense, and we want to do more. Right after me, in December this year, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs is coming to Addis Ababa to have first for 6 years consultations, working consultations with your foreign ministry. And I hope that the next step, and our amazing ambassador here is working on it, will be taking her a mission of Polish entrepreneurs to meet your entrepreneurs, to talk about the possibilities, because we are somehow cooperating on many levels in our industry, in our entrepreneurship. On machinery, in machinery industry, on agriculture industry, but I think that we should concentrate more on what is most important right now, for instance, for the Polish economy, and in the wider sense for European economy. Right now we are spending in Poland over 40 billion euros from our national budget for defense because of the situation, geopolitical situation in Europe right now. Extra 40 billion euros we will use out of European money. It's a huge money, and we want them to be not only a spending, but we want them to be an investment. An investment is always the best when you cooperate, when you are building new chains of supplies, when you are trying to find new solutions, new partners. And I think that African countries, not only Ethiopia, can be a great opportunity for Poland and for Europe. And let me say that for too long now, we in Europe were concentrated only on our own issues. And if we were talking to Africa, it was this kind of, I dare to say, this post-colonial mindset that we owe you something. We owe something for Africa because of the colonization. So we will concentrate only of these projects of charity, here and there. It's very important. I started 2 NGOs in Africa myself, and we do have amazing development programs in Ethiopia operating right now, but it's not enough. It should be much more than that. We should concentrate to build our growth, to build our welfare together, to build stability, and stability comes always after economy, and it's going out of the economy. So I think that Poland, we do not have any colonial past in Poland. We were colonized by our neighbors. We can be a gate to Europe. And I will be the strongest advocate of such a position. That's why I'm so happy that we are restarting our mutual relations, and we are restarting them at almost highest possible level, because I hope that there will be a day that the president of Poland will come. But right now you have the second one in line. So it's a strong sign that Ethiopia is a partner we want to build on, and we want to restart our mindset, not only here, but in the whole European mindset.
Ethiopia has contributed a lot with supporting, these refugees. Ethiopia hosts refugees from neighboring countries. And how do you see Ethiopia's contribution towards this?
This is great contribution. This is enormously big contribution. There are some countries which, like Ethiopia, should be considered as one of the leaders when it comes to, I would say, care of United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. And I really cherish the work Filippo Grandi as a High Commissioner did. But right now we are in a completely different era. For a couple of years, maybe a decade, we will be having more and more refugees, because geopolitical situation in the world is going to be more and more unstable. You know what's going on in your region. Your borders, your national borders are on fire. If people are moving, people are trying to find shelter, and we should help them. But I reiterated during my last interviews in United Nations headquarters in New York, in Geneva. I just flew yesterday right from Geneva, here to Addis Ababa. And let me tell you that this is fundamentally important, even from our Polish perspective. When you're taking care of the refugees, you should take care of the local communities from the host countries, because there would be no successful process of integration, of keeping these people safe, without help of the host country and without stability in the host country. This means support for the local communities, because every local communities has its own capacity to accept, people from different culture, different region, different state. That's why we should make it like programs not only for refugees. They are extremely important. They are right holders. This is what United Nations High Commissioner Office was created for, these people. But we should help. We have in United Nations this kind of cluster approach. It means that we can combine easily different functions of different agendas of different organizations from UN system. World Food Programme, OCHA, UNHCR, UNICEF. We can work together on solving problems. That's why I think that we should apply more this kind of approach to countries like Ethiopia. We should be like a catalyst in finding new development programs for Ethiopia, to make it more stable and more safe place as a first host country. Finding development programs is not the job of UNHCR practically, because it's the job of UNDP. But nevertheless, UNHCR could be an inspirer, could be catalyst of these processes, can point out, can be vocal, can be advocate for the things on the United Nations highest levels. So I think that we should take more of the hosting countries, and Ethiopia is without any doubt one of the countries which contributed to this big, I would say, deed of helping others in need a lot. And Ethiopian people should be cherished and should hear thank you for what they did for these people who had to flee from their countries and found shelter in your country. I know that it's not an easy thing. We experience it in Poland. That's why I decided to go in this race for High Commissioner, because there are a lot of candidates, but they did not experience such a thing, not all of them, in such a scale in their own countries. I can remember 3 years ago, we were accepting with my wife refugees from Ukraine, families from Ukraine in our apartment, right? And we were trying to give them space for months. We accepted one family from Kiev, from disabled child. We were trying to find a doctor for this young girl. We were trying to, find a job for them to fulfill all the needs they are having. Actually, we know how it works. We know how difficult it sometimes can be. But without Africa and without hosting countries, we would be not successful, and the system would collapse. That's why I'm here. That's why I'll be talking to the ambassadors of many countries from Africa, but especially I want to express my biggest thanks to Ethiopian people for what you not only did, but for what you are doing for the people in need.
Thank you. Well, my next question goes to the one with regard to climate finance, migration policy and digital connectivity initiatives. And Poland, as a country with its position within the European Union, how do you think it will help globally to African countries, including Ethiopia?
We should be more conscious because climate change is a fact. And I would say that, the specific situation we are having right now in the northern part of the world, this kind of, populists going to power, going much more to far right than to center than it used to be. Let's go to the roots. The root of this phenomenon is the multi-crisis we faced. COVID, war in Ukraine, there's a strong influence, for the safety of the whole continent and whole northern world, I would say. Migrational crisis from 2015, and right now we see it here and there even more active. Financial crisis of 2010. Climate change, we do have, rainfalls. We have we do have floods, rapid floods. We have fires of the great scale everywhere, practically in Europe right now during summer. So we can see it. Right now, our responsibility as Poland is even bigger because, as I said, we are 20th economy in the world. We are one of the leaders in the European Union. We are for sure local leaders for Eastern and Northern Europe. That's why we want our voice to be heard. And I promise you that as a politician, I will do everything to show our people that in such a crisis we are facing right now, the worst idea is to close, and say, hey, let's concentrate on our own problems. We will solve our own problems and it will be good. No, this is the time to open and to find solutions together. This is the only way out of this. If we are facing, the crisis of trust, we do have it, amongst countries, in nationwide, we do have it in many countries in the world right now. So we have to rebuild the trust first. So this multilateralism, openness for different perspective, African perspective, different countries, is crucial, I would dare to say, for European Union to survive. In Poland, we do have very good relationship with Americans, with United States under this administration. We have very productive talks and contacts with Chinese. On the other hand, we can be like an outlet of safety and cooperation in this divided world. That's why I'm so happy that I'm here, and I hope that my visit is opening like a gate for the new chapter of contacts between our countries and between our continents. Right now it's a time to work closer between European Union and African Union. I hope that our colleagues in Brussels will do their best to operationalize it. Yes, we should talk, we should meet. Sometimes, because I'm in politics for 5 years, for 2 years, I'm not in the opposition, and I'm in the government, I'm the Speaker of the Parliament, but I'm only 5 years, I'm 49 right now, and only 5 years of my life is politics. From my previous life, I know, in business, in media, in being an author, starting NGOs, is that sometimes there will be meetings from which you will have a deal, but sometimes there will be not a deal, but they will be building a capacity for the next meeting, building up the relations. Let's do it, and let's do it now.
African countries in general complain about their relationship with Europe, with the US, etc. Their collaborations haven't brought, the kind of development they seek. I want to ask you how Poland is ready with regard to meeting this gap.
I'll be honest with you, I'll be frank with you. Poland should be much more ready. And this is one of the things I'm trying to persuade to my colleagues, to my colleagues in government as well, because still the huge part of Europe is, I would say, like Africa blind. You know, that they are looking, okay, we have our neighbors from Africa, but this is the African thing, you know. We do not know a lot what's going on there. We do have our own problems. We do have problems in Ukraine, with Americans here and there, with Chinese, with our supply chains, our economy, the future of our kids, our welfare community of European Union. But you know, I'm trying to do this, and I try to do this as an author, as a journalist. Right now, I'm trying to do this as a politician, to show that hey, we can have not only partners, we can have friends here, and if we would not be present here, somebody else would come. And would be present with its money, with its influence. You know, we should be present here. I think, you know, judging by my colleagues, ministers, one of my friends from politics, from my party, Deputy Minister of Digitalization of Poland, last week came to Rwanda for kind of conference. And he was like, you know, I don't know if it was his first time in Africa or the second, but he came back and he said, oh my goodness, we can make a lot of things here, right? What a land of opportunities. So sometimes we should just come here and spend a little time and discuss with local people, and we will see things which are obvious. So thank God, and Ethiopian Airlines for the direct connection just started, you know, between Warsaw and Addis Ababa. And I hope that it will make the travels much easier. And I promise you that I will be doing my best to send our politicians to Africa. I will do my best. We sent amazing diplomat here as a chief of mission. We will do our best for this. When I come back to Poland, I will give some reflections to this Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, who will be coming right away. And then I hope economy mission, entrepreneurs mission to Addis Ababa. Let's start with baby steps. If you are asking me if we do enough, my honest answer will be no. We should do much more. And I hope that we will make it, because we need you. Right now, when the world is trembling, we should base our own stability and safety on many pillars, not only on one. Some of them will be stronger always, like our alliance with the United States, for instance, right? Or NATO alliance, or European Union. But we need much more points of reference, much more pillars. It's the everyday experience of every one of us, right? If you had a table and it's stabilized on more pillars, it would be more stable, right? It's just an easy thing. You are developing your mining sector. As far as I know, you will be, you know, drilling for gold. We envy you because we do not have any gold in Poland. I think there is a lot of improvement possible in agricultural cooperation sector, right? But okay, it's obvious. Let's go for innovative technologies. You have bright minds here in Ethiopia. Why should they go to, I don't know, Arabic countries? Why should you have this, you know, brain export?
Brain drain.
Yes, brain drain, you know. We experience the same thing. Right now we are building huge programs in Poland to keep these bright minds in Poland, because we need them. Otherwise, we will be only the country of constructors, you know, to put one thing, one element to other element, to connect it. It's not our ambition, and I'm pretty sure that it's not yours. So I think that because we are on the many levels on the starting point, of course, from the, you know, other position in Europe, in European Union, we can share some influences, some ideas, but we can invest in each other as well, because you need development money, let's be sure, on many levels, but you need investment money for even more, because out of investment you will make your own wealth in your own way, and being respectful to the country, being respectful to the sovereignty of the country should be the first step in any mutual bilateral relation.
Yes. Sir, well, you have explained it very well, but these days especially, we know that many African countries have come to the realization that they need genuine technology, they need science, they need cultural exchanges with the advanced nations like yours. And what exactly is there, on the floor, on the table for Poland as a kind of strategy to allow, just this very good exchange, necessary exchange in technology, in culture, in science, etc.?
Look, of course, we did something already, and there is a cooperation, for instance, between our scholars, between our universities, University of Warsaw, University of Poznan, University of Krakow, as far as I know. They are doing some projects together here in Ethiopia. So it's the first step of even deeper cooperation. Maybe there will be a time for a kind of students exchange, to give people this feeling that we are one world right now, and because of AI and social media and all of these phenomenons, we are much closer to each other right now, and it's really still a global village. I know that globalization of economy was maybe not very successful idea, but we're still global village when it comes to people's relations. The other thing I would like to say, I already mentioned it. What is the biggest capital? What is the biggest treasure nations do have right now? Brains, people, not technologies, because these who, much more important are those who are inventing technologies right now. We observed in Poland huge brain drain to United States, to the Silicon Valley, to different places, and sometimes I'm really pissed off when I'm, checking the news in the internet, and there is a huge applause that, look, our Polish genius in mathematics or physics is making huge career in Silicon Valley. Hey, he should be in Poland, making great career in Poland. That's why this system of incubation, we are calling it, of new ideas, of startups, technology startups, trying to grow these unicorns in new technologies. It's the crucial thing we should concentrate on, even if you do not have wealth, physical wealth, even if you do not have this resource or the others, you have people. And if you would be having educated people, with open minds, ready to just sit everywhere in the world. It could be Addis Ababa, it could be Krakow, it could be Warsaw. And on their computer, make miracles, in this new area, in this new sector. I promise you that it could be the most amazing cooperation we could have. So try to concentrate on picking people, and putting them to work. And there is one side thing that should be mentioned: green energy. We are ready to help you. Right now, we are performing in our country energetical transformation on a huge scale. We are going out of coal, from our heritage from communist times. And it's a painful process, because it's not only changing this power station or the other. You should rebuild whole network, and it's crucial. Right now we started our first big nuclear project. We are waiting for these modular reactors, SMRs, to be commercialized in 2028. But we are building photovoltaics everywhere we can. We are building windmills on sea and on land, offshore and onshore. We are very advanced in this process. Why it's important? Because these new technologies, AI and others, they are extremely energy consuming. So if there will be green energy with the low cost, it will be much more probable that bigger companies will come to you, to Ethiopia, from different countries, from European countries, because right now for the big technologies companies, there is completely no difference. If they will be in Ethiopia or in Asia or in Poland, the question they are asking is, do you have a land, and you have a plenty, and do you have a green energy? If you will be having green energy, you will be competitive on the newest technology market, because they will be coming to you to build all of these facilities they are building here and there right now. So if you want to have new technologies, you have to have green energy, and you have a lot of solar power possible. You can build, windmills as well. So let's do something together on this. It will be like a temptation, like a small trick for this business, that you will come to them, that you will go to them and say, hey, look at the cost of energy here, and it's a green energy. I promise you they will come, and you will be the next Silicon Valley of Africa here. But we are ready to help you. We are ready to cooperate because we are fresh experiences on that.
One last question, sir. What should African leaders in general do to make sure that this collaboration between their respective countries and yours, or any other country like yours, to work?
Find the right people in Europe, I would say. I wouldn't be like self-advertising, but find more people in Europe who, I dare to say, are trying to understand Africa. They know how absolutely fundamental meaning Africa has actually for our safety and for our future, and try to work with them. Because if they will be influential on the local level, they will influence, they will have influence on governments. And maybe this attitude will change, because we should, let me say for Africa, because I feel like, half African in my mindset, we should in Africa show more and more to these guys over there on the north that we can be a competitive market, that we can be, amazing place for joint ventures. We should find our advantages, because it's like it's the same thing like in a business, it's like on the states level. You won't be good in everything. You should find your way. You should find the things which are you specialized in, right? Specialized in. Yes. So let's find it. For instance, I'm not here to patronize you. You know best. But let it be green energy. Let it be green energy hub for Africa. And be a leader in the sector. And I promise you, all the new technologies will come, because there will be more and more of them. And we should show more, not only cultural exchange, opportunities, we should show business exchange opportunities. On the northern world side, I'm honest with you, there is still a problem with the mindset. It's not like post-colonial, because we do not have, we in Poland for sure, because as I said, we were not colonizers, never. But it's not only the heritage of those times, but I think the problem is that kind of a self-inclusion of the Europe right now. It's not like trying to undermine Africa's position or meaning. It's not treating Africa well enough. How Africa deserves to be treated. These gates are not closed, but they should be open. And this is the change we should perform in the next 5 years. One, in the next 5 years, because in the next 5-10 years, the future of the world will be defined in Africa. Why? Because you see demographic processes in Africa. Demography is going lower and lower in many, many countries in Africa. And on the other side, you have these climate changes consequences going up. Pace of these two processes, which one will be faster, will determine if we will be living in 10 billion people world, or 9 billion people world, or 8 billion people world. And it will happen on our very eyes during the next decade, during the next mandate of the next UN High Commissioner for Refugees. That's why we should focus on Africa more. And I promise you that wherever I would be, I don't know, God's will, but wherever I would be saying the same things. Africa is a sister, and not a distant cousin. She's our sister. And we should work together. We should live together more. We should dream together more. And I hope that we will be able to do so.
Mr. Holownia, thank you very much for your excellent interview you gave us, especially your commitment to come over our place and then talk to us just the way you have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All the best to your viewers and to you. Thank you so much for coming.
Viewers, thank you very much for watching our program, and today's edition ends right here. Next time, we'll come up with a similar one. Until then, goodbye to you all.